The biological clock is a myth. Every woman doesn't have a biological clock. If that were true, there would be no such thing as women who don't want children. Like, that just wouldn't be a thing, right? I'm going to go to my grave not having kids. My mind will never change about this topic. The reason why I talk about this, and the reason why I'm going to continue to talk about it, most likely until the day that I die, is because society needs to come to grips with the fact that we don't all have a biological clock. If society can come to grips with that, all the ostracizing and the degrading and all that stuff would end towards women who don't want kids. The future should be teaching kids. Some people have kids and some people don't. That should be the norm. I'm not understanding why people are having a hard time with this whole every woman needs to have kids thing, and if she doesn't, she might as well like jump off a cliff or something because her life has no meaning, right? I want y'all to understand something about me. I don't suffer from depression. I've never suffered from depression. The only time I've ever really felt depressed slightly is when someone close to me dies. I don't get depressed over friendships lost. I don't get depressed over relationships or men. I don't get depressed over like job loss or whatever. I've never lost a job. I always quit. But you know what I'm saying? Like stuff that people get depressed over. I don't get like my brain isn't wired that way. But I can assure you that the one thing that would send me into a complete, utter depression to the point where I would probably want to unalive myself is if I had children. Okay? I don't have a biological clock, and I would be depressed if I had kids. My life would be done. I'm only speaking for myself, right? And I'm saying all of that to let you guys know that we are not all a monolith. We don't all want the same thing. The idea of the biological clock is a lie. It is a lie told to women and girls to perpetuate women and girls bringing in the spawn of Satan into this world over and over and over again. Like, that's what this is. They want your wombs to keep birthing future worker bees for the rich people to exploit. AKA have you working at the microwave factory, working for Jeff Bezos, right? And I don't know, pumping people's gas or fucking doing people's lawn work and being a trash man or whatever. Now, I'm not knocking any of those jobs, by the way. All of those jobs are very important. But what I am saying is, for most people, that's literally all you're ever going to be in life. I'm a truck driver. That may be all I'll ever be in life. Do you get what I'm saying? I might not want to strive to do anything else, which that's not true, by the way. But I'm just saying, I might just decide to wake up tomorrow and say, this is it. You know what I'm saying? That is typically what people are doing. We're working for the man or whatever until you start working for yourself. Okay? So that's it. That's the only reason why they're constantly pushing birth. They need capitalism to continue. That's it. So a lot of you guys think bringing kids into the world is doing something wonderful for the planet. It's not. It's an extra carbon footprint that we don't need. Okay? What we're doing with all of these people on this planet is accelerating the death of this planet. We're speeding up the process. That's all we're doing. Okay? I understand this. I don't know why this is hard for y'all to get. And for those of you who say things like my kids are the center of my joy and I couldn't imagine my life without them and my life wouldn't mean anything and all that stuff, that is wonderful for you. Wonderful. I am not you. Child-free women are not you. Other people in the world were not you. And I want to continue to have this conversation, and I will until the day that I die, like I say all the time, because the conversation that we're having with children as we're bringing them up in society should be, some people have kids and some people don't. There shouldn't be any type of demeaning, degrading, ostracizing, or anything towards women who don't want to have kids. That shouldn't even be a thing. It is, because they need to keep feeding capitalism, so they have to ostracize people who don't follow the herd, right? People who have their own mind are demonized. We know that. If you give people a choice to live how they want without demonizing them, racism couldn't exist, capitalism couldn't exist, the patriarchy couldn't exist. None of these things could exist if people were of like their own mind. But they need people to be sheep. And I'm sorry to say this, but the vast majority of people are sheep. Like, the vast majority of y'all, sheep. You don't know how to think for yourself. You have to follow the herd. You have to do what everybody else is doing. You got to keep up with the Joneses, right? Society should never be that way. Society should be somewhat structured, but it shouldn't be structured to the point where you're ostracizing people for wanting to make the choice that works best for them. Like I said before, I would be depressed. I would be miserable as a mother because my freedom would be gone. I would be forced to give up the things that matter to me. I would have to jack up my body, like I say, and put my body through a bunch of trauma. I don't want to do any of those things. I have no desire to do that. I wouldn't be able to just get up and go when I felt like it. I would be having to worry about way more than just coffee and tea and my Amazon packages in the morning, like I always say, because that's all I worry about every day, literally. Coffee or tea this morning, my Amazon packages coming on time, and making sure I don't run out of gas, stuff like that. I'm not, you know what I mean? That's it. I don't want all these extra expectations or these extra responsibilities that I don't need. You don't get a gold star for taking on more responsibilities as if like that makes you a better adult or something. My goal as an adult is to be an adult, but minimize all the stress and all this extra crap as much as I can. So, the biological clock is a myth. Stop acting like all women are the same. We're not. Because if we were, we would all want the same exact things. We would all want the same cars, the exact same house, the exact same whatever. We would all want, we don't because we're not the same. That's it. I hope that's clear. Used to be this saying that said that it takes a village to raise a child, and a lot of women had kids based on that saying. I want you women who are thinking about having kids in the future to stop and accept the fact that you probably might end up not having the village that you think you're going to have. With the housing crisis, the cost of living, the inflation, people are struggling to survive. People are losing their jobs. People have to take on second and third jobs, and people are not going to have time and the energy to really help you raise your kids. So I really want you guys to stop and think about the fact that you might not have the help that you think. People are saying they're going to be there because they have good intentions, some people, on being there, but you never know what's going to happen. I said before, I had a friend whose village was her mom and her auntie, and they both died in the same car accident. And she was 7 months pregnant when it happened. You just never know. Be prepared.